morning everyone, I am Snigdha Go. I introduce myself for the new class 11 students. Today I will take the class of biology of class 11, okay? I start the second chapter, that is biological classification. Okay, so all of you know about this term, what is classification, what is taxonomy, what is taxonomical hierarchy. You introduce myself. You guess something, what is classification, you know that is differentiate different things on the basis of their some structure, their similarities, their dissimilarities, okay? You can classify them and you can identify them easily. That is the classification. But when it is related to the biological classification, it is obviously related to the some living organism, obviously, okay? So what is biological classification? All of you know that the organisms are, you can say that the scientific procedure of arranging the organisms, you can say obviously that the scientific process of arranging the organisms on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities and placing them in taxonomical hierarchy. Okay, so that is the biological classification. I repeat, the scientific process of arranging the organisms on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities and placing them in the taxonomical hierarchy. Okay, so all of you know that is the different types of animals have their different characteristics. So it is not possible to recognize and obviously recall all the animals, and it is not possible obviously the study about the all types of animals. If you classify them, if you group them, then you can easily show, yes, this group has this type of structure, this group has this type of structure. You can distinguish them very clearly and very easily. So for that reason, classification is very important. Okay, so next stage, that is, all of you know the scientific process of arranging the organisms on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities and placing them in taxonomical hierarchy. Next, why the need of the classification? All animals are roaming here and there. What is the need? Why you classify the animals? Okay. So, need of classification. Needs for classification. Needs for classification. Obviously, first one. It is not possible to study about all organisms. So, study about one or two animals of a group give sufficient information. Second one, all organisms organisms do not occur in same place. Another one, easy, it helps in identification. Okay, so what is the needs of classification? Why we classify the organism? First one, it is not very simple. It is not possible. All the animals, tiger is present in West Bengal, tiger is present in Australia, tiger is present in the Siberian region. So all the animals are roaming here and there, and they exist in the different parts of the world. So how it will be possible that this tiger has this type of characteristic, this elephant has this type of characteristics? So they all together are gather and they classify them in one group, that is mammals. If you study the types of characteristics of mammal, you can easily recognize, yes, these type groups animals have these characteristics. When you go through the particular animals, then some specialized characteristics are present there. Okay, so it is not possible to study about all organisms. Study about one or two animals of a group gives sufficient information about them. Obviously, if you study about the birds, then you can give the characters. They have the feathers, they have the four chamber, they have the warm blood. Okay, then the particular birds has particular characteristics. They have the, when you study about the mammals, then if they have fur, they have the four chambered heart, they have the mammary glands. So for that reason they are called mammals. When you go through the particular animals, then you can 2-3 characteristics, it is very easily recognized. So it is not possible to study about all organisms. Study about one or two animals of a group gives sufficient information about them. If you study about the total group, then you can give the similarities and dissimilarities between the total group. Okay, and why they are detached or differentiate from each other. Next, all organisms do not occur in same place. Obviously, all organism does not exist in the same place. Some is present here, others is present there. Okay, so you can gather the information. It is very easy to classify them. It is very easy to recognize them. Okay, next one, it helps in identification. If you identify, if you gather the characteristics information, then it is very easy to identify the animals or species, anything very easily. And another one, it also helps to know about their evolutionary relationship. What is their common ancestor, from where they first origin. Okay, this is helps in know about their relationship amongst them. Okay, so this is the main needs why you classify animal. First one, you give study one or two animals of a particular group, you can easily classify them, you give the sufficient information. Second one, all the animals are not exist in the same places, so if you recognize them, you can classify them, you can know about something them. Next one, it is helps in the identification. If you classify them, you know their characteristics, obviously you can identify them. And another one, what is their common origin, what is their ancestral origin, from where they derived. All these things are also you know from this type of classification. Okay, taxonomical part is totally depending on the classification. Next, objective. Why? What is the objective of the classification? Why you classify the animals? Main motto. What? Why are you classifying the animals? Objectives of classification. What is objective of classification? Obviously, first one, to identify and describe the animals easily. Second one, it helps to know about their evolution. Third one, U helps to arrange them in taxonomical hierarchy. Okay, so this is the main objective, to identify and describe the animals. And second one, you can know their genetic, evolutionary, common ancestral origin. And third one, obviously, their tax. You can place them in which kingdom, which group, which phylum, all this type of taxonomical hierarchy. You can place them according to their characteristics. Okay. This is the objectives of classification. To identify and describe the animals easily, it helps to know about their evolution and helps to arrange them in taxonomical hierarchy. Next, types of classification. How would you classify the animals? What rules you should maintain when you classify the animal? Okay. Next one, types of classification. Okay, so while the different types of, first, when you classify anything, you first observe the external characteristic, that is morphological characteristic, anatomical, that is internal, their physical structure. Okay, when I give you mixing color of balls, red, blue, green, I told you, I tell you that you classify the balls. So you first classify them according to their color, not the shape or color. Okay, red ball you can give their same structure, blue, yellow, another, and you can then very easy to recognize and their characteristics. Red ball has this type of characteristics, blue balls have this type of characteristics. Okay, so first when you classify anything, you first take the morphological or external characteristics, whatever you see in the outside of their body. Okay, that is classification. Three types. First one, morphological, or you can artificial. Second one, natural. Third one, phylogenetic. Okay, so three type of classification: artificial, natural, and phylogenetic. Artificial characteristic based on one or two morphological characteristics. Okay, so that is the artificial characteristic based on one or two morphological characteristics. That may be their food habit, that they may be aquatic, they may be terrestrial, they may be aerial, or their external structure. One or two, some very small characteristics. Okay, morphological, whatever you see outside the animals or plants, anything, you just classify them. These has these types of characteristics. These are go through this along, are included in this group. They are included on that group. Okay, so artificial characteristics, that is based on one or two morphological characteristics. Maybe food habit, maybe feeding habit, maybe shape and structure. Okay. Next, natural. Natural based on morphological and anatomical both, and their relationship. Okay, and their natural relationship. Natural, both internal, external both morphological and anatomical characteristics and their relationship. That may be food chain, that may be how they depend on each other, that may be their phylogenetic relation, anything, any type of relationship, how the food chain is occurred, how they maintain the environmental characteristics, all these things are included in the natural. So artificial based on one or two morphological characteristics, natural based on morphological and anatomical both characteristics, and their relationship between them, morphological and anatomical both characteristics. And relationship between and next one, phylogenetic. All of you know that what is phylogenetic. There may be obviously some related to the evolutionary relationship, their common ancestor. Phylogenetic based on genetic and evolutionary relationship. So this is the types of the classification: artificial, natural and phylogenetic. Artificial based one or two morphological characteristics, natural that is morphological, anatomical and their relationship, and phylogenetic obviously according to their common ancestor, or you can say that genetic relationship or evolutionary relationship. Types of classification, 3 types. So whatever you learn, that is first one, definition, what is biological classification. Second one, needs for the classification. Third one, objective of classification. Fourth one, types of classification. Next, system of classification. How the system of classification. How did the scientist classify the organism? They also follow some rule, then they classify all these billions and millions of the organism into different groups. So how they do that? That is, there is also some evolution of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And different scientists discovered this classification or system of classification. First, who discovered? First, Linnaeus. First, two kingdom classification. Who discovered that? Linnaeus. Linnaeus kingdom, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. First Linnaeus discovered two kingdoms. He just plants another book, animals, simple classification. He does not go through the unicellular, multicellular, prokaryotes, eukaryotes, algae, fungi, bacteria, anything. He did not give any type of details about them. He only just classified two, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Obviously, this was not accepted. Then this was not accepted because they cannot describe about the details. Unicellular organism, multicellular organism, prokaryotes, eukaryotes, anything. Next, three kingdom classification. Three kingdom discovered by Haeckel. He just observed and only classify the unicellular organism another part, that is Protista. Next, Plantae and Animalia. He just observe that some unicellular organism, they have the some different characteristics. They included them another group, that is Protista. So three kingdom: Protista, Plantae and Animalia. Linnaeus: plant kingdom, animal kingdom. Plantae and Animalia. Three kingdom Haeckel, but he also did not describe about the multicellular eukaryotes, prokaryotes, bacteria, anything. Okay, so this was also not accepted. Another only one group, that is Protista. Next one, four kingdom. Four kingdom, that is Copeland. Copeland, whatever give the idea, that is he saw that bacteria has some another characteristic than the unicellular. So he discovered another group that included in the Monera, that is bacteria. Okay, he saw that bacteria has some different characteristics. So he first divided Monera, that is bacteria. Second one, Protista, that is another unicellular organism. Then Plantae and Animalia. Okay, so this is the system of classification. First two kingdom, that was discovered by the Linnaeus. He divided the plant kingdom and animal kingdom, but he did not give any type of about the unicellular, multicellular, any another organism. So this was not accepted. Second one, three kingdom, that was given by the Haeckel, that is Protista, Plantae and Animalia. Protista, he discovered that unicellular organism he included in the Protista. Next one, four kingdom, Copeland. He saw that bacteria has some different another characteristics. So they included Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. Monera included bacteria, Protista included unicellular, and another Plantae and Animalia. Okay. So, but fourth kingdom is also not accepted, was not accepted because it also did not give the details about the any type of organisms or group. Next, five kingdom. Next, five kingdom. This was most accepted. He was discovered and described about almost all the organisms. Okay, Whittaker, five kingdom classification. We read and follow the classification in this rule. Whittaker first divided animals unicellular and multicellular, then prokaryotes and eukaryotes. First, unicellular prokaryotes. Unicellular prokaryotes, that is Monera. So under Monera, all type of bacteria. Okay. Second one, Protista. Protista, that is unicellular eukaryotes. Only unicellular prokaryotes, Monera, this one. Next, unicellular eukaryotes, Protista, this one. Protista he divided into three: photosynthetic, consumer and protozoa. Next one, Monera, Protista, fungi. He gave the information about the fungi, that is multicellular. These both are unicellular, then come to the multicellular. Okay. Next, Plantae. He also divided Plantae into algae, bryophyte pteridophyte, angiosperm, and gymnosperm. And another one, Animalia. All of them are multicellular, okay? Okay, so that this is most accessible, that is the 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker. That is, first one, he divided unicellular and multicellular, then prokaryotes. He gives the almost all about the information, all types of organisms, okay? Unicellular prokaryotes, that is bacteria, he comes under the Monera. Then, so fungi, so 5 kingdom, that is Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and Animalia. This is the 5 kingdom classification, Animalia, okay? Unicellular prokaryotes, Monera, bacteria, all the bacteria is come under the Monera. Next one, Protista. Protista, that is unicellular eukaryotes. Protista, he divided into 3 parts. Photosynthetic, some of them are able to produce their own food, consumer who take this type of food, and another one, protozoa, which depends on the other, okay? So photosynthetic, consumer and protozoa. Next one, fungi. Then comes to the multicellular. Multicellular, plantae. Plantae, they divided into 5 groups: algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, angiosperm, gymnosperm. Another one, Animalia. He also divided Monera into 2 parts: Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Okay, so this is the actual 5 kingdom classification. Concentrate on that: Monera, Archaebacteria, Eubacteria. 2 types of bacteria: Archaebacteria, Eubacteria. Protista divided into 3 parts: photosynthetic, consumer, protozoa. Next one, fungi, there is no division. Plantae, 5: algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, angiosperm, gymnosperm. Another one, Animalia. This is most accepted, that is taken divided by the Whittaker. Okay, this is 5 kingdom classification. Next, 6 kingdom. He also divided and they also arranged them in 3 domains. Now, this scientists describe them, arrange them in kingdom. Then 6 kingdom classification. That is given by Carl Woese. He divided 3 domain and 6 kingdom, okay? 3 domain and 6 and 3 domain and 6 kingdom. Okay, so 3 domain and 6 kingdom. First domain name, Archaea. Chaea. Archaea and the Archaebacteria comes under the Archaea. Archaea. Next domain, bacteria. Eubacteria comes under the bacteria. Next, Eukarya. That is the another group. Fungi, Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia. He saw that the bacteria has the different characteristics. He just replaced the Monera, Archaea and bacteria. there is the another two groups. Monera divided into two groups, that is Archaea and Bacteria. There is no place for the Monera. Archaebacteria, one domain, that is Archaebacteria, Bacteria, Eubacteria kingdom, and Eukarya, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Okay, so 3 domain, 1, 2, 3 domain and 6 kingdom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the total kingdom of the classification. So read this thoroughly. In our next video we will read about detail about them. Okay, thank you, have a nice day, stay safe.